1. We're live.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the 9th Whaleshare's curation event. It's a new year, and as such, we're going to adopt a slightly different format this year. So we're going to be making some changes. One of the things we're going to do is add some new features. So we'll start this week with a guest curator. So Crazy Krista, a lot of you know her if you've been on the Whaleshare's channel. She's a pillar of the community. She helps out behind the scenes a lot. But we thought it would be a good idea to get her in front of the mic. She's always got a lot to say, so she will be one of our guest curators. We will also be asking her some questions about her time with Whaleshares and on Steemit. So if you've got any questions, put them to me in a PM. I'll have a look, and any suitable ones I'll pass on. Also, bear in mind, not yet, but at the end of the show, send me your open ledger address and you'll get free Whaleshares as well. And I've also got some hair shares to dish out. Now, I was given 100 to dish out, but I bought some with my own money as well because I'm feeling so generous. So there'll be various spot prizes throughout the show, perhaps with questions, things we need answered, or, if you can make us laugh as well, you will get some free hair shares. But first of all, I'd like to welcome Krista. And I would first of all like you to tell us a little bit about how you got involved with Steemit and then with Whaleshares.
Well, I got involved with Steemit. My boyfriend actually discovered Steemit and made himself an account and suggested that I start up, and he's actually never used his account, but actually a couple days ago marked my 6th month with the platform. And I actually got involved with Whaleshares because of Acrid. I met him over at Steemit Chat, and he kind of invited me to come over to Discord, and I've been here ever since. That was about the end of August. And a couple months later, he made me a mod, and now I'm here most of the time.
Very nice, interesting. Could I ask you now, just off the top of your head, answer instantly, who's your favorite Steemian?
Me.
Acrid. Acrid or Clever Creator. I don't know if any of you guys know her. She's actually over on Steemit Chat, and she has kind of been sparse lately, but we actually exchanged phone numbers, so I text her actually. So her number's in my phone.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, interesting. Right, let's get into some curation, and between a few of them, we'll ask Krista questions. So if you've got any questions for Krista, this is like a tongue twister, questions for Krista, send them to me in a message, and if I use them, you'll get some hair shares. But anyway, Cubby, do you want to go ahead with your first post?
I sure do. Let me take a quick look at the audience and see if either one of my very last minute peeps made it in. Oh, hi, Snake. Oh, hi, Psycho Chica. They did not. So I will share this one first. So this one I had just recently found, and let me get it over here. And the reason that I picked this one is because, as some of you may or may not know, my family is originally from Brazil. And so this post is actually about different cities, or states I should say, in Brazil, and some of them I have visited before. When I first found this post, I thought it was written in Portuguese, which got me really excited. I quickly learned it is actually written in French. I wasn't able to make out a lot of it, but some of it I was, and I haven't translated the whole thing of it yet because I was just trying to see how much of it I could understand from the years I took French. I do recognize most of the cities they've mentioned, and like I said before, I have traveled to a few of them. But I thought it was a beautiful post. Of course, I love and approve of the formatting they used, and the country is something that's personal to me. And I think even though we can't always communicate with people who speak the same language, we should never turn away from people who speak different languages, even if it takes us a little bit more work to get through it. And it made less than $1 when I first saw it. Now they're up to $1, but I thought it was a phenomenal post. And I thought I should share this with the rest of the crew.
The pictures look pretty nice, and it's a good thing that you picked a post that's written in a different language, because I felt like that sometimes when I see posts that are written in Russian, for instance, and I would want to pick them because I feel like people deserve this attention, even though not a lot of people can understand what they're writing about. So it's pretty cool, even though I don't understand it.
I agree.
I loved it. pictures and the layout. You're the layout queen, but I love the layout as well. It's very very nicely divided and very easy to go over.
Cubby, am I right in thinking that? Sorry, I missed this bit earlier, but you're from Rio. I know you're from Brazil, but you're actually from Rio specifically, or?
No, my town where I am from is from Minas Gerais. That's what it's called. So it's in between Rio and São Paulo, which are the two main ones that most people know. However, I am not from either one. I'm not from a main big city. I'm from a small. I mean, not really. If you know Brazil or you're Brazilian, Minas Gerais is a very popular state. Most people from the states are from there, but it's not something that people outside the country would know.
The thing I was going to lead up to was, does this post make you homesick? I assume you've been there a few times to Rio.
No, I was born in the States and raised in the States. I went to Brazil every summer growing up, and so I don't really miss it. My grandfather actually passed away last year, and my grandmother the year prior. And since I don't go to Brazil very often, and I don't talk to them all year until I go there, it's going to be really hard for me to go back because it'll be the first time I go back where I don't see them. So it's kind of weird, but I don't miss them because I don't typically talk to them until I go. So I'm nervous to go because then I think I really will miss them because I won't be able to see them. If that makes any sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
It does. It makes sense. I actually read French, but not fast enough to read this and comment on it. It'd probably take me about 15 minutes. I'd have to go quite slowly. But yeah, no, it's a nicely laid out post, and that's key. It's something I still struggle with. And I meant to go, Cubby, to your lesson on layout, and then I waited, and then I got distracted, and then I realised I'd missed it. But I know you've got that lesson put up somewhere, haven't you? For all of us who want to have better layouts. Maybe we could, at the end of the show, we'll put that up so people who want to take a few lessons, because I do think that having a good post, I was thinking about this week, is a matter of practice as well. Almost nobody gets it right to start with, or if they get it right the first time, it's luck.
And if you want, I have one of my Steemit friends actually created a tutorial to teach you how to format, and it goes through everything that I went through in the class, step by step. And he used to charge, and now he's made it free. And I have a couple of free, or I can give you the link and you can sign up and do it as well. So you can read over the post I made that kind of summarizes it and gives you all the cheat sheet links. And then if you actually want to practice it, just let me know and I will give you the link to that as well.
Perfect. Sounds good. Hey, let's move on to another post. But before that, I've got a few questions for Krista. Bushkill would like to know, how old were you, Krista, when you started swearing?
How old was I when I started swearing? I don't know, probably 12 or 13, I guess.
And how long did it take you to get addicted to it? Did you love it straight away, or was it a thing you sort of built up over time?
At first glance.
Oh, the pressure's on. I don't know. I think that it helps me to express myself better than I could. And even in situations where I can't swear, I turn into Ned Flanders. Is that his name from The Simpsons? So I'm like,
I understand. Almost like a little bit of a Tourette's like need to express yourself verbally.
Yeah, a little bit.
With a forceful tick. Do you ever swear when you're on your own? You know, sit up at night, in your room by yourself, everyone else is asleep, and you're quietly swearing, and nobody knows you're up to it.
If I stub my toe.
You're practicing swearing at night.
Yeah.
The thing I'm leading up to is these are all signs of addictions as well, and there are places you can go. Swear is anonymous, I think.
Next, you're going to try to take coffee away from me.
Not the coffee.
Yes, yeah. I think Cotterin's got a question for you.
Oh yeah, what's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Do I have to keep this PG?
Oh no, I have my earplugs in.
Please don't.
No, go ahead. Tell us the best story.
When I was in high school, they dared me to walk naked in a hotel room in a hotel hallway when I was on an art trip in high school. And I did, and then they locked me out of the room. That was a little crazy. I got locked in a post office once That wasn't on purpose, so I don't know if it counts.
Oh, that is pretty crazy. I'm proud of you now.
You're proud of me.
Way more proud than I used to be.
Admit that you love me.
I love
Fine.
you.
Yes.
One more
Love
question
you.
before we move on. Any of the creators got one? Because I've got one. If you haven't, but
I got
just
one.
want to know. Oh, okay. Copy.
Sorry. I wanted to know what is your proudest moment, your Steam It moment memory?
Oh boy. I think my proudest statement moment was actually when I finally reached over a $5 mark. For the longest time, I hovered right around $5, and then I discovered the whale shares, and it went above $5. And I was like showing everybody, like my mom, my best friend, look what I did. Look what happened.
That's awesome.
it's a lovely sense of validation when you do get organic upvotes for something you've done, especially when you've worked at it for a while and haven't had them and think, what's wrong with my post? Why are people not liking it? But yes, no, I can imagine that. Should we go to our second curator? Who would like to go next?
I can. I have some nice poetry.
Okay, Linda, off you go.
Here it is. So this is my guy is here and handsome nice. I guess it's handsome nice or handsome nine eyes, something like that. But I really love this poem because not just because it's really like it's about chasing a woman, but like like she's playing with you, like those usual romantic kind of games. And I think it's really nice how the author makes you feel like you are there and you're watching it, and it's just like a painting. He paints a painting with words. And but that's not the only thing why I love the poem. It's not only the fact that it's like so beautiful, but also the last two paragraphs, the last two parts of the poem are when he wakes up and he's actually in his office working, and it's two contrasts. From the first part is where you're in this wonderful world where everything is so beautiful and you're living your best life, and the second part is when you're in reality, and that's something I think a lot of us have. Like, we go into a routine and we don't really love our jobs and our realities, and it's kind of resonated to me that you can have such contrast in poetry, and I really love that. And it's like, it ends, the poem ends with uh right in front of me is my boss, and that's never a good sign when you're sleeping. And like the poem starts with all this love and being with somebody you like, and this effortless breeze of the poem, and it ends on a more realistic note, and that's what I like about it so much.
You know what I'm going to ask you, Linda, don't you? I'm going to ask you to read a little bit out for us because you've got a nice reading voice.
Oh no. Okay, wait, I need to find the perfect one.
Well, that wasn't hard now, was it?
Well, I know that I need to practice those things, plus I feel like home with you guys. Okay, there you
That's
are.
good.
There you are, I mumble as I make my way in her direction, catch up with her and sweep her off her feet. She managed to say, "You didn't win," as she gasps for breath and chuckles at me at the same time. We both giggle and make faces at each other as I gently make my way to the stream just in front of us. I set her down, hold her close, and place a light feathery kiss on her forehead. She lifts her head and stares at me with those dreamy, cute-eyed little eyes, the type that makes a man go into a trance without fail. And then there's the second part, which is like the harder version is, then she asks me, "Why are you sleeping at work?" For a brief while I am still in the euphoria of the moment. "Why are you sleeping?" she asked it again. For a moment I didn't realize she had come closer to me and was now right in front of me. This time she taps me hard on the shoulder and asks sternly, with a slightly raised voice, "Is this why I pay you? To sleep and smile during work hours?" And I like that transition, that it's not so soft in the beginning, and then this "why are you sleeping at work?" It's a completely different place.
It was beautifully read. Interesting. I've actually I tried to write some erotic fiction some time ago, but I couldn't help it. It just kept getting really, really dirty.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
maybe I'll get you to read some of that out, Linda, for us. But
Sure can do, guys, but I think Copy will have to put on some earmuffs or something so she doesn't
no,
hear
I
us.
use a lot of euphemisms. So if you've got an innocent mind, if you wouldn't know what's going on. So like a guy walks in and he's got a great big banana. That's not going to upset Cubby, but we all know what it means.
That he's
His
hungry?
glorious elephant.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
That's
No,
from
I'm just being
yesterday,
silly. I'm being silly. No, but it's a lovely post. It's nicely presented. The formatting good. I think we're seeing a common factor here of what makes obviously you need good content, but you need these other things as well.
I like it that it was it almost read like a story instead of a poem.
Yeah, it's actually it's like that. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It just could almost carry on to form into more. There could almost be a part two.
It's what it feels like. It's kind of a story, but it's written in a poetic manner, so you automatically read it like poetry. So I like that.
There's like a dreamy quality to it.
Exactly, that's what I loved about it. And it's actually, it's a dream. So in the end, it turns out to be a dream because I wasn't expecting it. I was like, oh, this is a really just sweet poem. And it has those two sides. If you choose to read the second part, you can make the choice not to read the second part and then you stay in the dream. And it can be a reality. But if you choose to read the second part, it's something much harder.
I'm hoping that's got a lot of upvotes anyway. I should point out as well to people that these posts will all get a big Whaleshares upvote at the end. So if you want extra curation, if you upvote these posts, you're upvoting something that's guaranteed to get greater upvotes in the future. So your curation will go up. Let's move on to the third piece. But first of all, I've got a few more questions for Krista. Any curators got one?
I just wanted to. I mean, I know that her favorite animal is kitties because she's having so many. But I wanted to ask if she's still onto the kitty wave and how many kitties she has.
Oh, I think that we have 10 outside right now and another 2 inside. Dustin built them a nice little cat house, so they are nice and warm and so happy.
Aww.
Sorry, I thought we were talking about these are real kitties.
Any kitty.
Oh, crypto kitties! I've got like 21 of those.
Oh
They
my
just sit.
gosh.
They just sit and do nothing. Do you want one?
Are they not worth like $1 each or something? I thought they were really valuable.
Yeah, I could probably sell them, but I don't know. There's rumors that it might move over to running off a different blockchain, so I'm just kind of holding them for maybe that day. There's a few that I have for sale, but none of them have really panned out yet. So just that one that I sold, and then I spent the profit.
Nice.
For more kitties.
Hey, I've got another question. Okay, what's your favorite alcoholic drink?
What's my favorite alcoholic drink? A Bloody Mary.
And
What?
I
thought it was wine.
Well, I drink wine if I'm at home. I drink Bloody Marys if I'm out to the bar.
It's a pain to make a Bloody Mary, isn't it? To make a nice one. What's the drunkest you've ever been?
I don't remember.
That's a good one.
Oh, come on, we need a story.
One time I went to the bar by myself on my birthday because I'm that kind of cool and sang karaoke. And the bar that was open at the time was only a couple blocks away. So I like went to walk home and the owner's like, "Oh, you can't walk home." I'm like, "Oh, it's fine. It's going to be fine." And I threw up the whole way home. It was awful.
You poor thing.
I don't do that anymore.
I have the similar experience, but I was never into alcohol that much, so it wasn't a problem to stop drinking it at all. Because I once got so drunk that it involved barfing, and I don't like that.
When I was a teenager, I used to tell my dad that every time people drank, they just threw up. That was just part of the experience.
What is your worst quality, Krista?
My worst quality.
She doesn't have any.
Probably that I talk too much, or maybe that I procrastinate too much. I'm not sure.
She's perfect.
No, I'm not perfect. Far from it.
And who's your celebrity crush?
Me.
Does it have to be a male? No, I like Jason Statham or Charlie Hunnam.
Huh. Classy.
Excellent. We all feel we know you a little bit better now. Hey, should we move on to Potterin? Do you want to do your post?
Sure. Sorry for the delay, you guys. Okay, this is the scariest contraceptives and condoms ever used. So this post is pretty interesting and gives you a good idea what things people used to use to prevent unwanted pregnancies. Some of the things are hilarious and the other ones are just scary. It's kind of crazy to think that women would use elephant or crocodile dung to make pastries. I wonder if that worked or made them have an infection instead. It's pretty wild. And it also says that some people would use sheep urine, and this is just so nasty and weird. It makes me wonder, why would they not just pull out?
I don't know what that means. I'm just kidding.
Did you know that that condoms used to be made of the intestines of sheep, I think?
Yeah, actually, this post goes about it, and they cover this.
Really
I
long.
love
here it is.
this writer. I think he's here today. I saw him earlier. Hi, my friend. And he posts all the time in the science or sometimes in the sports section. And I love going through and trying to and finding his post every once in a while because he always picks really random topics. So I'm not surprised he's the one that wrote this. I almost selected this one, but
Yeah, I love
I
that.
actually did this one too. I was giving this one the eyeball when I was going through earlier.
It is funny how the ancient Greeks thought that if they sneezed, that would make them not get pregnant. This is pretty funny. Also, the first one goes about olive oil. I don't think I can look at the olive oil the same way now.
But listen, just rub some onion on your male friend's special part, and you're good to go. No babies for you.
I mean, I would probably do it if I lived 1,000 years ago.
Most of these
I believe
are just quite
I believe
kinky.
that a shot of mercury probably did work to prevent pregnancy. I think
It
that
did work for the brand to a lot of things.
foolproof plan.
Yeah. Well, the boss says that it did prevent women from getting pregnant. It also made them not be able to have children in the future.
And die in early age.
I believe it. You know, I don't know about you guys, but my grandmother every once in a while, or my parents from Brazil, will come up with the strangest remedies for things. And they seem so random, but they most of the time work. And so I'm not surprised people thought about this. And I'm sure some of them actually do work to some extent.
Yeah, they probably do, but the other thing is it's probably not healthy.
Yeah, that's probably very true.
I think it's also partly, I'm not saying that you can just think it off, but I think if you don't really want children, it's smaller chance to get pregnant. You know, when you really want children, you're gonna be more into it.
Well, there's one way to be 100% sure not to have kids, my friends. Abstinence is key. Not for everyone.
Or that yesterday's masturbation was good, the one that you walked in on.
Yeah, that was quite an interesting moment.
They actually teach abstinence-only sexual education here, and I think that that's actually a bad idea just because they're not telling people how to protect themselves. And I think that we would be delusional to believe that once people have sex, they will continue to. Even if that means you wait until marriage, that's totally cool with me. You know, nobody should be pressured into doing it before they're ready. But I think it's delusional to think that you can just be like, oh, you've already lost your virginity. Well, just don't anymore. So I think that you have to teach both sides of the coin in that situation. And I mean, I don't think they should leave it up to the school system either.
I think parents should teach their kids about those things. And my mom bought me an encyclopedia when I was little, way too little.
Yeah, very true. You cannot rely on school to teaching people about it if you want.
But these days, a lot of parents think that school needs to raise their children.
Unfortunately so.
That post has given me a lot of ideas for different things to try in the bedroom.
Oh my gosh.
Very, very kinky indeed. Maybe not the dung stuff, but the olive oil and the lemon juice, all of that. I've got no problem with that.
Well, tell us when your future wife gets pregnant again. We'll
Well,
want
this is
to
the
know
thing. We're not very good at contraception because our little boy was a complete accident. But the most wonderful accident I could have imagined. And as soon as we found out, I was sort of delighted within about 5 minutes. So it was a good thing, in a way. Well, no, completely a good thing. But he wasn't planned at all. Anyway, I've got another question for Krista here, maybe appropriately. So, Krista, this is hypothetical. Imagine you're talking to a new Steamian, a guy, and you look at his account and you find out he's got a really massive amount of steam power. Does size matter?
Well, I don't usually look in people's accounts before I start talking to them, so I don't know that I would be less nice to somebody who had less steam power. I don't think I've ever done that before, and if I have, I'm sorry.
I mean, what if you boasted about it though beforehand, as he was talking to you?
He was talking to me and he was like, "Hey, baby, I got a lot of SP." I'd be like,
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. I'd send him to Akron, let him sort him out. Does he have crypto in his name anywhere?
Right, another question. Anyone?
Oh man, I got one. If you were given 1.3 billion steam, no strings attached, no questions asked, a very generous random whale gave it to you, what would you do with it?
I would likely just go around and give upvotes to anything that I found to be of quality. Not in like high amounts, but if I had that much steam, I could give people like 3% upvotes and they'd be like $5 each or something, probably even more.
Now, this isn't delegation. This is sent to you.
Yeah, that doesn't change my answer. Steam has actually been a blessing to me. I never intended for it to be a way to make money, and it is now. And I'm very grateful for that. But I will continue to, I kind of live by the theory that if you have more than you need to build a bigger table instead of a higher wall. So I think that everybody should, kindness matters. It really does.
That was
The
sweet.
only thing that will save us.
And on that note, Krista, why don't we get you to curate your post for us?
Wonderful. I see that Christy just posted actually a comment, so I know she's still here. So I found this gem while digging through post promotion today. And it is apparently a pretty popular contest, the Inktober Challenge. And it looks like it's pretty widely known among other people from the way that she talks about it. And I just think that her ink drawings are fantastic. I doodle in ink myself, but never really draw any sort of objects, just kind of doing abstract type work. But these are just phenomenal. The detail here, and then I absolutely love that she included like little descriptions. She named them all and gave them all little descriptions underneath. And so that shows a whole nother level of creativity, in my opinion. So these are just, they're just phenomenal. If you go give them a look. And actually, I think the crooked one is probably my favorite one. And I love that she included like up close pictures of all of them, so you can kind of see the detail in them more. Because, wow, I actually have some questions for her, like how long she's been drawing. If she could answer that, that would be fantastic.
You'll have to type answer, Christy. Yeah, let's.
I
That's
love
how long
the
you've been drawing.
Pocket Dragon. The gigantic Snorlax Pokemon dragon. I loved Pokemon when I was little.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I came across it and I just saw the photo and I'm like, wow, that's a neat photo. And then I went in there and I was like, oh, there's so much more neat photos.
They're so creative too. I love the shading that she does. Is it watercolor that she's using as well, or is that marker?
I think it's just ink.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think it's just ink from reading the post. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. I think that I am actually going to start following her so that I can see what she has in store for the future, because she said she was going to keep working on them. And I mean, this is just wow to me. Yeah, I love it.
They are beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
So everyone has to pick their favorite dragon. That's what she said, and comment with it. Let's see, which one do I want?
I'm standing by my Pokemon choice.
I like that crab. Nick's the crab.
Me too.
Oh, the kitty dragon. The kitty doggo dragon. Katherine, that must be your favorite.
As long as it has a kitty on it.
I think it's kind of kitty and doggo. Both of them. It's a two-head dragon.
Obviously, I'm following you now because of that, because that's really good. I think it's a really great, lovely post.
Good job. Keep up the awesome artwork. I wonder if you've entered any contest. If you have not, you should.
Right.
I missed her answer.
Another question for Krista as we move on. Krista, have I asked you this? What is your biggest regret?
My biggest regret. Oh boy. Not finishing my bachelor's degree. I'm so close.
What are you studying?
I have an associate's degree in healthcare administration, and I was pursuing my bachelor's in psychology.
And you are still going to get it. You are going to carry on.
Yeah, I think so. I will turn 35 this year, so I'm not super old yet. So I think that eventually I'll go back. I might actually use money from crypto to fund going back to school.
Listen, I hear there are even 70-year-olds and 80-year-olds going back to school, so you're never really too old to go to university.
Especially since you're so smart.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Oh, well, one of my husband's relatives, like one of his cousins, he's using money he makes on Steemit to pay for college.
Yeah, I think I might. I don't know if I'll change my major or not. I actually want to work as a child advocate. So really a sociology major would be better, but I could do it with a psychology major. So.
I've got another question here. You don't have to answer this, but I thought I'll put it. It's up to you whether you answer it. How old were you when you lost your virginity?
What the heck?
I was 16 years old.
I think that's the very popular age.
Yeah.
It's a
I
nice,
thought I thought I was
nice, solid, reasonable age. Well done.
What?
I thought I was in love. I
How early
thought I
did
was
you
in
use
love and
social
everything.
media?
I'm not going to ask any more sexy questions, I don't think. So I shall move on to my post instead. Hold
Yeah,
on.
don't make Kelly uncomfortable. I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
I know I'm not uncomfortable. I'm just shocked that people would ask you that. Like, wow.
I'm rejecting a lot of stuff here that would probably Cubby would storm out and never speak to any of us again if I said some of this stuff.
Oh
So,
no, I went to a public school, but
I'm censoring this.
appreciate it. You kids are crazy.
Right, hold on. Let me post my situation. You can all see that?
Yes.
Good, perfect. I like this post because it touches on what I was talking about earlier. The guy who posted this was he's a clever man, doing well at university, going to do further education, going to do his master's, and then he discovered Steemit and he started posting, and he failed utterly. Nobody upvoted his posts, nobody seemed to like them. But he identified what the problem was over some time, and this post details this, and it was that he was just posting pictures and a bit of words. And I think people can tell how much effort you've put in, and if you've put some heart into a post. And he went away for a bit, he came back and he started posting with more enthusiasm. He got better at posting and found a niche where he could work within Steemit. And this is what's happening more and more. Lots of these little communities, niches form, and with that, he was able to get good rewards. And there's a very, a very solid lesson in this post to anyone who's just started out. If you're not getting the rewards, persevere, but also take a look at what posts do well and assess it with your posts, because you see so many new people that will come along, just put a picture up or something, say a few words, and you know that they're chancing it, they're hoping they get an upvote, but they're not really trying, and that won't work in the long term. And the most successful people put something big into it. Yeah, I thought this post encompassed that totally.
I love that he gives shout outs to certain people whom not all have invested in him, but he recognizes talent in them. And so he thanks them for being an active member on Steemit. And I think a lot of times people do so much on the platform, but they are never thanked as often as we probably should have. And so at the very end, all the people he thanked, I thought that was really sweet and shows a lot of growth. And I hope that you'll take my formatting class because you wrote so beautifully. And I think more people would be inclined to read it if you just spiced it up a little bit.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, and I want to add that I admire the persistence because not a lot of people would stay. For some reason, when they come on the platform, they expect to get money, and when they don't, a lot of people leave. But the funny thing is, Facebook doesn't pay you, and Instagram doesn't pay you unless you're overly popular with thousands and millions of followers, you know. So I think he's a really smart person to stay and try and to actually just post and try work it out and find what's the best way and actually get someplace and realize that he was doing something wrong and improving on himself to just get there and finally start earning something.
Blog posting itself is its own format. I think it's different to short story writing, or it's different to poetry writing, or even journalistic writing. It's because you can't realistically put quite as much time in as you would if you're a professional journalist writing an article. Some people do, but I think blog posting is a kind of condensed thing. You've got to do it reasonably quickly to make it worth your while, and so there's a sort of condensed quality to it. But it's some people just get it right, and some people really struggle at it. But practice, I think, will take most people there.
Well, yeah, and I think that there's like so many elements to it. Some of it's luck, some of it's networking, some of it is content, some of it is formatting. But I mean, I saw once Fuzzy posted something and he was just like, testing, don't upload it, and it made like $150. So I mean, you know, there are definitely other elements besides just good quality content, unfortunately, which is why events like this are important, to find people that have good quality and kind of share them with everybody here.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, sometimes as we ascertain, size does matter when it's coming down to your Steam power, but yeah, anyone could get there in the end, with a good reputation, I think, with working at it. Have we got any more questions for Krista? I've got one from the chat room. Krista, you ready?
Sure am.
Okay, so I've been asked, you've got a unique and recognizable voice. What sort of reactions, positive and negative, have you had to your unique and recognizable voice?
Oh, I mean, I didn't know that it was so unique, I guess. Some guy did tell me that I sounded like I was from California because, hey, it was you. You told me that.
I thought you were from California. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, just in real life, like throughout your life.
You know, nobody's really ever commented on my voice before. I do have people to tell me to slow down a lot, because I talk really fast. I don't really mean to talk really fast. I just think really fast. I also write really fast.
You have to talk fast because if you don't, you forget your thoughts. I have had that issue.
Yeah, I just have to keep going. I think my oldest son is a lot like me. He just yaks. And sometimes I'm like, man, does that kid ever shut up? Oh, it's a mini me.
That is too funny.
Maybe where you're from, Krista, everybody sounds like you. Could that be the case?
I don't know. It's a possibility. Coderin, what do you think? You're in Michigan. Do people have my voice? I mean, you don't, but your voice is awesome.
The sound effects, it's so awesome.
Coderin has fallen asleep again. Either that or she's back on Super Mario Kart.
Oh no, I had to plug in my laptop.
We wanted to know, do you live near Krista? We wanted to know whether lots of people sound like her where you live.
Yeah, they sound very similar. We live in the same state.
He was just saying that my voice was unique, or somebody was saying that. So I was just wondering if a lot of people had a voice. Fine.
They sound different. I mean, their voice sounds different, but the accent is kind of the same.
That's, you know, for me, there is no accent because I started listening to American TV, and I know Southern accent. That's a fucking ridiculous thing, but for me, you don't have any accent.
No accent.
I experienced this once when I went to New York about 15 years ago, and where, you know, in my life, I sound quite normal when I'm talking to people. Yet when I got to America, I suddenly thought I sound like a stereotypical Brit in an American film, and they all sounded normal, and I sounded far more like an amplified version of me than I really was. And I think that was because of watching so much American TV and so many American films. I felt like a foreigner in my mind. Like I felt my voice wasn't mine at all, and it was very, very strange.
I forget every time I forget that I don't speak normal English, but when an American meets me, they like to remind me that I don't speak American English, you know, that I have an accent. So that's when I'm reminded.
I feel the very same. Everybody I talk to, they ask me where I'm from because they can tell that I have an accent.
Everybody in Europe asks me if I'm from America. Like when I came from Germany, came to Germany, everybody in Germany asks, "Are you from America? From England?" I'm like, "England, okay, but England definitely not. You know, there's a different accent." America, I kind of understand how you could say that, but when Americans come, they have a different. They know that I'm not American, you know, so I'm kind of just in the middle.
Americans can tell accent like easy.
No, it's hard. It's hard to distinguish them sometimes. But I will say that even though you guys have heavy accents, you guys all speak wonderful English.
Oh, phenomenal.
What kind of accent do I have? Because I've never been able to get a clean answer from anybody.
I mean, it sounds European to me, but as far as being able to pinpoint the country, I couldn't.
Okay.
I would call it a Slavic accent because you cannot really tell if like you're Polish or Latvian or anything like that. It's just like all those languages kind of sound the same.
I've just lived in so many countries, that I think I have a little bit of every country by now.
You probably do.
And for me, I know I don't sound any different from what I hear from TV, but for everybody else, I realize I sound completely different from how people speak on TV and such. I
Krista,
think we
if
should
you
move on though.
Krista, if you could speak any language, what other language or languages would you like to speak?
I would probably have to go with German. I have pretty strong German roots, so I think that I would probably go with German, even though it is kind of like a hard language, kind of like mean sounding almost sometimes. But I do speak very little Spanish, but not enough to demonstrate for you. Um,
I think it's a little bit stereotypical about Germans because unless you speak like on purpose, you speak harshly, you don't really sound harshly, at least not for me, because my language is very similar to German.
This is true. And all right, so Nick's internet's a little patchy, so we'll go ahead and keep going until he comes back. Who was next? Were we back to the beginning?
yes, ma'am.
Alrighty then, so I guess that is I and this one. And the person I curated today is here today. It is the beloved Artsy, and she just shared that she actually speaks 7 different languages, which is phenomenal. I wonder if you can read and write in all 7 of those languages. Let us know in the chat room if you can. That is amazing. But this is her post that I selected. And she always picks and designs and creates the most amazing type of artwork. I'm always fascinated by what she creates. And I always love and when she shares it in chat with us what she's working on. And whenever she selects some of my favorite colors, which is pink and purple, of course, I'm a little bit more biased as to my love for it grows. But this one in particular I thought was really interesting because of the color that she chose for the hair and the skin and the dress. It's almost contradictory, but it complements each other so well. And so I think the colors that she used isn't typical skin colors or sky colors or anything. Like it's not normal colors. So if you were to pick something and choose colors that represent the item, what it looks like in real life, I don't think these are the colors you would choose. And I think that's what sticks out the most to me and what I love the most about it. And it's so unique. I love the design of her dress. I love the flow of it, the poofiness. I love the flowers at the bottom. I love the waviness and the volume of her hair. And she's wearing a hat. And of course, it has a bow and the flowers. So if I wish this was me in the picture, probably. And she's looking at a telescope, looking up at the stars. And where is she? Is she in a European country? Is she in New York? Where in the world is she? And I think it's phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of her artwork. And when I saw it, I just couldn't let it go. I had selected a few other posts, but I just always came back to this one because I thought it was so captivating. The amount of detail that she put into this. I talk all the time about how much I love posts because of how they're formatted. And a lot of people who are artists really understand the concept of spacing and how it has to be aesthetically pleasing to the eye. So if you look at this picture, at just how everything is spaced, it kind of fully takes up the picture. I don't know if that was purposely done or not, but even from the moment the size of the moon in conjunction to the size of the main character in there and the spacing of the design of the building behind, the building to the side, and the small details all on top of it all, I just think it's phenomenal. I don't know if all of that was purposely done. I don't know if it was created that way. She just said that she didn't draw it by her, but it was coloring. So whoever drew it, it's phenomenal. But the coloring was selected by her, and she really made it pop. She could have chose very boring colors, but she chose not to. And I'm a huge fan. What'd you guys think?
I think you really love it because that was
Yeah.
a very long and lovely introduction. I love this. I actually looked at this post before when I was going through because I found one post yesterday and one today. And I thought the colors were amazing just because it's purple, her face is purple. Where are you gonna see a purple person? And it could be, as you said, anywhere in the world, or it could be in another world altogether. It could be anywhere. And that's what is amazing, that your imagination just runs wild. And that's what I love about stories and art and poetry, that it takes you somewhere else.
I'm going to guess that it's a rooftop in Paris. I might be wrong, but that's where I'd like to think it is.
Maybe. And she shares with us in the chat where she got the coloring book from. So thank you, Artsy, so very much. I am a huge fan of your color choice. And even though you didn't just draw this picture, you just colored it, you did it justice. So bravo, my friend.
I should point out, I got disconnected just now. The UK being a failed state, the internet is very patchy. But this meant that we, at the time, missed something that we normally do at the halfway point, which is the DJ Chatterbox section. So I don't know if Cubby feels like she's missed out or she was happy, but she hasn't got away with it. We are going to do the DJ Chatterbox section. And what we need, Cubby will speak for a minute without hesitation, repetition, taking a breath, pausing. She basically has to speak constantly, and we need suggestions from you for a subject for her to talk about. And if I choose your selection, you will win a small prize.
Dun 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 dun. Now, last time they chose a topic and I didn't do so well, and it was about chocolate. You think I would nail it, but I didn't. So, do your best here, people.
Linda, you'll do the timing.
Oh, okay. 1 second. I need
If that's
to do
all right,
this.
yeah. Okay. Catherine, you can't have baubles. Is that different to baubles?
Did I spell it wrong?
Yeah, you did. Yes, yeah.
Oh my god.
Wow, we've got some suggestions.
Hopefully, they're good suggestions.
In fact, it's not going to get picked. I'm sorry, Ricky.
I don't know if that was for the best or not, but
Hold on. We've got one that's close. Dating.
oy vey.
We could ask Cubby about dating, couldn't we?
I mean, we could, but do we really want to ask such boring questions?
Oh, so you're afraid now? Oh.
We've found Cubby's weak points, right? Okay, that settles it.
Oh my gosh.
We will be asking Cubby to talk for 1 minute solid about dating with no pausing, no repetition, no hesitation, and Linda is going to time you in.
And it has to be better than chocolate, okay?
I
And I need and I need dramatic drum roll just to start. Okay, are you ready?
hold on. Let me get the clock up on the Twitch feed.
You don't need a clock. I have on the Twitch feed. Okay, then you
Yeah,
can
so that
have
way I know how to I can keep track for my own sanity. All right, hit me with it.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, start.
Oh, I don't know what the topic is though, so start over.
Dating,
Dating.
Cubby.
Oh, I thought you were kidding. You're really gonna go with that? No. Okay, so let's do the countdown again. Dating. Okay,
As
I got this.
It needs to be better than chocolate. Okay, we have high expectations.
Don't make me
Okay.
nervous.
3, 2, 1, go.
So we're here to talk about dating, which really stinks because I want to be married and have a beautiful family with lots of little children. But in order to do that, you got to start off by dating, which is tough for me because I don't have a boyfriend or any prospect that I am interested in, which is always tough. Now, people will always ask, well, aren't you being too picky? Or you must have a line of gentlemen just awaiting to get your hand in marriage, which isn't always true as people seem to think. However, just because there may be a line, which there's never have been, or there may be suitors out there, which very rarely there are, doesn't mean that they're the right person. And with the divorce rate the rate they are, you really want to wait for that right person, which there are no perfect. I'm not looking for perfect. I'm just looking for someone who thinks that I'm funny more often than not and who doesn't mind cooking and cleaning because I would rather not, and who probably did the dishes too because I honestly, who likes to do the dishes. Now, you may be asking, well, what I bring to the table, and I'm sure I could bring lots of lovely things like my face and my height and my Brazilianness, and I have parents who love to cook, especially Mama Dukes, and that's more than enough, wouldn't you say? So dating, that went too fast.
Yep, that's done. Actually, that was amazing. You wanted to add something to it?
Oh no, I was trying to think of something catchy to end with because that's what got me the most points last time, and I just couldn't think of anything. And then the time went out, and I was like, ah.
You had that part where I don't remember anymore because it was too fast, but that part, you did a great, woman. I don't know what to give you now because I gave you the highest mark already once, and it was more than 10.
Oh, well, let's
I think
ask the toughest judge of them all, which is the
I think
silent Quran, or Nick. Who wants to go first?
I think he's gone.
Oh man, I wonder if he heard any of it.
I think he's gone, yes, and I think it was fucking up. Whoa, sorry. I'm the one you will need to kick out Crazy Krista. No, but copy. Crazy Krista, I did it before you.
I didn't swear. You swore. That's not a strike for me. Am I being a bad influence?
Ah, the crowd goes wild. All right, so this is the important part here, guys. All right, Jack gave me an 8. Jack, anyone who doesn't give me a 10, I always ask what would have had taken to get a perfect 10. Linda, what is your score?
Well, because it was better than the last perfect time, and I think we have cracked the secret that you need to have uncomfortable topics to be able to talk about them because chocolate was so hard for you and dating was so easy. I would give you a 12 just because I already gave you an 11, and this is much better than that.
Okay, I've never given you a score before, but I'm going with 9.5, and I would give you a better score. But in the beginning, you were like, ugh. And I'm thinking that took up a solid 3 seconds.
Yeah, but she was ready to continue after the time went over, so I think she deserves that nice score.
Okay, well, if you average a 12 and a 9.5, you come up with like a 10.5 or an
Sure.
11. We'll call it good. What about you, Corinne?
I'm gonna give Kabi a 10. She did really good. No, it was really good. I enjoyed it.
I'm really in the extremes, when it's like below average, I'm the one who rates her the lowest, and when I like it, I'm the one who rates her with the score that's not even possible,
Are you gonna have to talk about it again once Nick comes back on?
Listen to Twitch. You make a recording of it, right?
I did. So he can listen to it later and then let us know what his thoughts are. I don't know how much of it he heard, but thank you, Ricky. Very pleased with the audience. I got 2 10s. Jack gave me an 8, which is, not the lowest score I've gotten. So, all right.
But I think I need to average that 8 out of my 12, and then you get, because of Crazy Krista, you don't get to 10, you get like 9.8, but...
Ooh, Psycho Chica gave me an 11.4. 11.4 maybe? That's up there. So this is good.
11 before? I love it.
Kitty girl, what were your thoughts? Soy Rosa, what'd you think? Come on, audience, let me know. I'm very curious. Handsome, my man. Krista, my girl. Awesome. Alrighty, guys. Well, let's keep going until Nick comes back. Let's see. The next person up, I believe, is Miss Linda. Linda.
Oh. Well, I have a funny story about this. Actually, not so funny, just a explanation.
Uh-oh.
Sorry, I couldn't copy it.
Okay.
I kind of had my push to talk, so I messed it up.
There you go. You got
So,
it.
my story is that because of this post, I went and ate, and now I'm not hungry, which is a rare thing because usually I'm hungry by this time. But I found this post, and I had seen because I went through the post promotion yesterday as well, and she posted yesterday another post about food as well, and I saw her before, and she's actually a bed and breakfast owner.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and she makes what first drove me to her was that she had a post about her letting all of her staff be on holidays instead of making them work on the busiest dates, and she was basically making their own food for the bed and breakfast with her husband. So I thought that was really kind of her. She apologized that she couldn't make it as well because tomorrow they need to make breakfast for the bed and breakfast again, and they have they're in Europe, so they have the same time as me here. And I thought it was amazing what she created because those are all, kind of sandwiches, vegan sandwiches as well. Even though I'm not vegan, I'm a avid meat lover. I'm in love with meat. I'm in love with the more I'm in love with happy meat, like the free chickens and everything. But I will buy meat in the store and the one that I won't know where it comes from because sometimes I just crave it. But she does make a vegan food look very delicious, and I'm not saying I don't like it. I like vegan food, okay. Sometimes I like it, but I also like my meat on the bone. So I'm in the balance there. I'm working on it, guys. And I think it's a content entry as well. And she's posting a lot of food posts like what she's doing for the bed and breakfast. And she even has those Russian dolls, that you take one out and then there's a smaller one, smaller one, and smaller one, and smaller one. And that's something from my childhood that yeah, matryoshkas. That's something from my childhood that I played with, and it's kind of also bringing me back. And it's, it's just yummy. I'm a food person, guys. It's just I couldn't stop myself. That's all.
It does
I'm
look
back, everyone.
delicious.
Apologies for my internet. We will carry on with your post, Linda. I just want to ask what marks Cubby got.
Oh, I wrote down notes. So, Linda gave me a 12 because it was better than last time, and I could have gone over this time, so she was quite impressed. Crazy Krista gave me a 9.5 because when I started off, I said, ugh. Corinne, or Katrin, gave me a 10. She thought it was very good. And some of the audience members gave me 10s, and one of them gave me an 8.
She rhymed really beautifully this time, and that just got me. I like that writing style, and she can speak the writing style, so I'm in love. It was even better than
Okay, well,
last this time.
sounds good. Linda, I'll let you go back to your post. I'm hoping I'll be able to stay now, but my internet seems to keep coming and going, so I shall do my best.
Actually, you interrupted me in the perfect time because I was kind of done. Just to say it's delicious, and I'm sorry I made you hungry, but I'm not really sorry because I like food and I ate already myself. You should have eaten if you feel hungry now. It's not my problem.
I like to pretend that I could be vegan one day, but then I think of all the.
Chicken wings, nuggets,
Yeah.
homemade
That's actually
burgers. Mm.
I was actually a vegetarian for 8 years because I had issues going on when my parents moved me across the state when I was getting ready to start eighth grade. And I had all sorts of like health issues going on. So I started eliminating stuff, and eliminating meat worked. So for 8 years, I didn't eat any meat.
Not even fish?
Nope, not fish either.
I was
I only
vegetarian for a while, but I couldn't give up fish. That was always my downfall.
I grew up in a fishy place, like right next to the sea, where we got fish for like almost free because my mom was working as a coast guard and she got bribed with fish. And her husband was fishing all the time as well, so fish is not my thing anymore. I grew out of it, kind of. So, oh, you know what I love? I love shashlik. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it is meat on a stick and on the grill.
Kebabs.
Not really.
Yeah, that's what they call them here.
Yeah, but kebabs is something that you just take off the straps. I mean, yeah, maybe. But you put it in a sauce overnight or over 2 days so the meat gets soft and there's some onions and some mayo maybe. And that's just the most beautiful thing in the world. And we celebrate midsummer and we have the best celebration with shashlik and beer. Even though I don't drink beer. Well, Catherine, if we send you fish over post, it's gonna be a little bit stinky when it gets to you.
They can dry it first.
Oh yeah, we do that as well. We dry our fish and then we eat the skins with stuff. That's not. That, I think some people find it very disgusting. But it's kind of
I was
tasty.
just thinking the other day about how I can't wait to be fishing again. I don't ice fish, but I really like fishing.
I like how peaceful it is. I've done it a couple of times, but I don't do it like often. But I've done it with my mom's second husband, but she's on her third now. He doesn't fish, so.
Oh,
We take all the kids and go, and so I don't know that it's very peaceful because 4 little boys fishing, yeah. But it is a good time. It's a nice family thing that we do together.
Yeah, in Latvia we'd love to make fire. Well, you call this thing when you make fire in outdoors, and then you fish right next to it, and then you make the fish on the fire.
bonfire?
Oh, that's exactly the word I was looking for. Bonfire. Okay, bonfire. I'm sorry. I was just making a quirky joke. Okay, I know English. I speak the language. I know English. I speak.
Is Nick gone again?
No, he seems to be here. He's on right under me.
I think his internet's still spotty, so we'll keep on keeping on. That was a lovely post. Thank you for making us all a little bit hungrier than what we were before. Katrin, my love, are you ready?
Sure.
She's a lady of few words, but I tell you what, when she speaks, it's greatness.
Arrrr.
Okay, that's my post. So my second pick is an announcement, and it's a virtual currency girls. Apparently, there is a new girl pop band in Japan, and it is promoting crypto and public's general understanding of it. All girls have nicknames that stand for coin names, like the Bitcoin Cash girl is Rara Naruse, and for instance, Ripple girl is Hinata Kazuki. I think it is awesome, and I absolutely love this idea. Japan is a great and weird country, and actually, they were the first one to acknowledge Bitcoin as a method of payment on the government level. So it's not surprising that there would be a J-pop band like that inspired by crypto. I just love it.
They are setters over there, aren't they?
I just noticed that they have logos on their masks.
They're just so adorable. I want to go look up their songs.
Here, I'm gonna post the link that was in the post.
Heck yeah.
Crypto, girl.
I know, they're awesome. I love that they're like throwing up like crypto gang signs or something.
I think this is a little recording from their rehearsal. I just love it.
I'm totally going to listen to it.
That is so funny. I'm so glad you chose this one. I wonder what even gave them the idea other than, it's Japan, so they just do to do things like this, or which coins to use.
The girls, they have Bitcoin Cash, they have Bitcoin, they have Ripple, Ethereum, and I think a couple more. And Japan is just like really advanced with crypto, and just like it's widely spread over there. So I'm not surprised they would have a band inspired by it.
Well, we can do the same. Let's do Steam dollars, Steam power.
Let's do a ripoff, you and me, Linda.
But we need
And Cubby.
There you go.
We need 3 people.
And Krista. Oh,
Yeah,
4 of us.
Exactly. One can be SPD, one can be Steam Power, one can be Steam, and one can be Steamit.
Can I be EOS?
Yes.
No.
I want to be EOS.
No.
You can be. We're only
Only
gonna
the
be
lead singer.
TPOS girls, and we will only represent graphene chains.
Heck yeah. Now we just all got to get in the same state or country as each other. We'll be fine.
We'll make it work. That's for sure.
Well, if you can get me visa, girls, I can go to you. I
Oh,
think
I'd love
Koturin and
to.
Crazy Krista is in the same state, so we kind of have to go to them. The majority win.
It's warmer where Cubby is.
This is true.
The scenery is better probably too. I don't know. Michigan's pretty, but not right now. It's covered in snow. The snow's pretty too, but it's really cold.
Let's just all meet up on an island.
Ooh.
Yeah, why don't we
Yeah.
come to you, Linda?
I'm not. I mean, Europe is not an island, but
Well,
okay.
I know, but you're like, I want to come to Europe. I don't want to stay in Michigan. That's boring.
This is really beautiful. We live in a very beautiful old town. Like everything on this part of the Germany is like old buildings and beautiful. So guys, please come. We're looking at a 5-bedroom apartment to rent right now. So I think we'll find space for you. Oh, and
But
you think
anyways,
for-
I thought this post was just amazing. Japan is so cool.
Yeah,
I love those.
they're really good dancers too, actually. So have to look them up too on YouTube and see if I can see like a performance or whatever.
They look
I was
like
trying to find something, but I couldn't. I didn't really research it. I just Googled it, and I couldn't find anything. And there was this Twitter link in the post that I saw. I think the post says that they're gonna be having shows, but they haven't had any yet, and they're gonna be selling the tickets for crypto.
Cool.
You know, I just realized what they look like. They look like they have the wrestling masks or something on.
Probably. That is very Japanese of them. Well, since we
They're
don't
like
have. Go ahead.
They're like cryptocurrency superheroes or something.
Exactly. Oh, they're so fun. I'm excited for our own group. That's going to be phenomenal.
It should. Hey Nick, are you really back? He's not really back.
Aw,
I-
bummer. Guess it's his
I-
turn to go next.
It's my turn actually.
Ah, even better. Go ahead.
Before him, so he's typing, so he must be kind of here. But I'll go ahead and go. The guy that actually he was in here earlier, but he took off. But this is by BitDollar. I actually ran into him in my chat that I hosted on Friday night, and he didn't actually get on the mic and talk, but we had a nice discussion. And it's all about how to gain discipline in yourself. Talking about it basically just kind of sums up what you have to do to be an adult, in my opinion. And actually like a productive adult, I guess would be better off saying it. But it made me chuckle. I kind of was torn between this one and another one. I was like, well, I did a fun one, so now I'll do a serious one. But he talks about taking a cold shower in here. Because if you can force yourself to get into a cold shower, then you can, accomplish anything. And he also talks about making your bed every morning. And that's something that I force myself to do no matter how I feel. I do actually work third shift, so I sleep during the day. So I actually make it in the afternoon, but it gets made every day. So yeah, I just kind of thought that it had some pretty good advice in it, and it was pretty encouraging instead of being condescending. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think that I used to make my bed a lot, but lately I noticed that I don't do it because I felt a little bit down the last month. I've started doing it again, but I think it really helps you to make yourself do what you have to do, like those adult tasks. So there might be some wisdom in the post.
And he even has a video, which I always love people who mix it up and add some pictures, some gifs, and even some videos. That's always really cool.
Is that a making bed tutorial?
I don't think
How
so.
to properly put on the sheet.
Very
I
important.
gotta watch that.
Well, I mean, some people make the point that making your bed, that's just for you because you're just going to get back in it and mess it up, and if you don't have company that go into your room, then what's the bother? But I kind of almost feel like it's just like getting dressed. If I stay in pajamas all day, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to accomplish anything. I want to stay in pajamas warm in my bed. But if I get up and brush my hair and, you know, shower, take care of myself, then I'm much more likely to be productive.
I agree with that. I feel like if I don't make my bed, I don't even want to go into my room.
It has been for me like that. I was like when I came to Germany, I was doing the bed every day, and later on I started like in October, November, I think I stopped doing it, and then I stopped folding the clothes after washing them for a couple of days. You know, those small things, but you know, you just kind of start not doing stuff, and you kind of start not taking care of yourself, especially when you work at a computer and you don't have to go anywhere for a day. You know.
I've
Oh, I
read. Go ahead.
go ahead.
I was gonna say I've read and heard so many people say that on motivation speeches or during graduation, that anytime you make your bed, that's the first thing you've accomplished. And that's the first goal that you've set for yourself that you've already done. And you can go throughout your whole day and it be a complete disaster, but when you come home, your bed is made and you've accomplished one thing. And so I really love that he says that. And of course, I'm a big fan of the formatting on his post. He did an excellent job. He actually used several different formatting techniques on here. I don't know if you people have ever tried it or used it, but the numbering system in Steemit is actually very challenging, or I think it's a bit confusing for that matter, because when you're trying to number 1, 2, and 3, you can't actually put 1, 2, and 3. You have to put point 0.1 space, 0.1 space, and then it automatically does it for you. And then if you add a picture or a banner or anything like that, sometimes it actually breaks the numeric code and you have to start over. But he was able to do it to where it was continuous, and he added the video, which I said is always awesome for you to do that. And I really like the way he ended it with his most recent post. Sometimes when you find a gem of a post like this, you upvote it and then you move on. But if you see anything at the bottom of previous posts, that might keep you engaged and check something else out. And I wish I did a better job of doing that in my own post.
Me too. I've never done that in my own posts. I've referenced other people's posts and added links to those, but I've never actually done that in my own posts, and it's something I'm toying with possibly doing. I actually just started learning how to format myself, and it's super overwhelming and super rewarding.
You just feel like you've accomplished something. Like, yes, I have mastered this one thing. It's amazing. And I agree. And I tell people that whenever you get a chance, just learn one thing, one code, and kind of just build upon that. Because you don't have to know how to do all of it. If you just knew how to do one of it, you kind of manipulate it and go from there. So you're probably doing a lot better than you give yourself credit for.
Oh,
Yeah.
you would hate to be around when I'm doing formatting because that's lots of swears.
Well, it's pretty convenient that Steemit has a markdown editor built in, so you can always look up something if you don't know how to do it.
This is true. But how often do you actually do it? I don't know about you, but it takes me, I try to do with what I know, and then if I really want to know how to do something, then I'll look it up. But if I usually don't, but I actually don't use HTML, or maybe it's HTML that I use, but I don't use Markdown. The one where you don't have to click on the right hand side, but
I use a mix of both.
that's
I
probably
have
smart.
a post saved which has some tips, like, you know, some simple ones, like how you put pictures in the middle and text in the middle, how you, like, everything that I need, I look at that post. I used to put like center pick images that didn't fit in with the others, but then something went wrong one time and I can't do it anymore, so I kind of gave up. Because it's kind of what I do is I just usually write my story, and I put in like two pictures in the middle, just not to, for it not to be too crowded, and that's it. My formatting limits to that, and in each paragraph I highlight like the most important sentence, and that's kind of that. But when I need something, I reference to that post.
There's definitely lots of references out there for you to use, and tutorials and posts and YouTube videos. There's a ton of them. I think it's just a matter of practice as well, because I used to have all of them bookmarked, and then sometimes I would try to copy and paste and it wouldn't copy and paste correctly because there was spacing in order for them to show you in the post how to use it, and I didn't know that, I didn't realize it, or sometimes there wasn't, but it was a picture, so copying it was just as challenging. And yeah, it takes some time, and it's frustrating, I think, for everyone. I think I spend just about the same amount of time formatting my post than I do writing it, because sometimes I'll write it as I'm formatting, but other times I'll just write it all out and then I'll play with it, and that takes me a while.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I write my post like when I write everything in a blur, and then I have to go the second time over it because then I correct it and update it, and then I go the third time over it because then I put the pictures in the best places. I add the bold and italics where I need, and it kind of takes a lot of time altogether.
Oh
I
yeah.
just format as I go. Like I usually know like what I want to highlight, and if I have like God, I forgot what they're called, headers. So I
Mm-hmm.
do it right away.
Well, aren't
I
you
never
just
know when
brilliant?
my stories are gonna take me, so I can't really do it.
You write a lot. I don't write a lot, so for me it's easier.
Alrighty. And did everyone get to go? Is that everyone? And then just Nick's last post?
Yep,
Yep.
just this last one.
Alrighty. Well, I'm pulling that up. Does anyone have any last minute questions they would like to ask our beloved Crazy Krista? She is here to answer. Now, Nick was normally filtering through the questions as you asked him.
I want to ask. I have a question. How
What?
many cigarettes did you smoke in the closet?
How many cigarettes have I smoked in the closet? 2.5.
Ooh,
Nice.
so quiet about it.
Also, I just want to go on a monologue for 1 second. So I know that I don't know who else here that got their post presented, but we're actually giving out 100 Whaleshare votes to every post tonight.
Wow.
I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think we're going to do that until the value goes up a bit. So a 100% upvote is $4.50 right now. And I'm actually giving out those votes tonight from my account. But they're still courtesy of Acrid and the Whaleshare community, of course, and Fuzzy, because we love him. But anyways, so I'm going to go ahead and do that tomorrow morning. So anybody who wants to vote can go ahead and vote at their leisure until tomorrow morning.
Perfect. Keep at it. And sometimes Acrid will go after all the posts shared and upvote any comments left. So if you have been commenting on any of the posts, you may be surprised with some extra upvotes there as well. Not guaranteed, but on there as well. And this is the post that Nick had asked me to share. It is called The Lions Legend Daily Report, English Edition. Oh, and I think I actually saw this, or a different version of it. So if you guys will all click on the post, we can kind of look at it together. I didn't read it beforehand. I didn't know anything about it, and I think his internet dropped before he could answer me and let me know what exactly he wanted me to say about it. But just like any Chatterbox challenge, we shall carry on. But what are you guys' initial thoughts?
Well, it's our favorite guy who always engages in conversation, so must be good.
Thank you, Jack, for always being so active and so involved. I do always see you around, and so I always appreciate seeing you.
This
We
actually
can.
looks. It actually looks like what he's doing here is curating people, curating blogs. So that's pretty neat. It's like introducing different Semians.
You're curating the curator.
So I'm into it. I definitely already uploaded it. I didn't get to read. Okay, let's see what he's saying.
I think he got picked up by OCD and now he's curating for Dutch language. That's pretty cool. Congrats, Jack.
That's awesome.
That is pretty cool. You are phenomenal. It's a report about the Dutch community and info on PLL. Very cool. Well, thank you so much for putting that together for us and sharing all this information. And I think Nick has told Crystal or Krista as well, but let me know if I'm mistaken. But anyone who's here, please DM her your BitShares or Open Ledger account, and you will receive some Whaleshare for participating and being here tonight.
Yes, I'm going to send those out as well tonight. So he was going to collect them and then send them to me, but it's just as easy for you guys to just go ahead and send them to me, and I will get those sent out right after we hang up here, except for I have to be to work at 10. So I won't be able to after party tonight.
What time is it at your place?
It is 8:34.
Oh, we're in the same time zone.
Yep. So it's not super late, and I'm already ready for work. But if I'm going to get these sent out, I'll have to kind of fly out of here. So
Night shift.
I do. I work night shift every Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday night, and then I'm off the rest of the time.
And for any of you guys who don't know, any post that was mentioned or presented today does receive 100% upvote from courtesy of the Whaleshare community and official Fuzzy. And as Krista has said, that's worth about $4 now, which is awesome. Most of us curators do upvote it ourselves. I make sure to upvote all the posts presented today, so that's always a lot of fun. So we appreciate you guys all being here. Make sure to DM your BitShares name. If you don't have one, go ahead and DM her nonetheless that you were here and you just don't have a BitShares account. We'd love to walk you through how to do that as well. And if anyone would like to leave their final remarks before I end this recording, and I think we're going to open it up at the end for other people to share their post as Nick had promised. But that will be the end of the Whaleshare Creation Show. Anyone like to say something?
I would just like to say thanks for having me tonight, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, it was a lot of fun having you.
It sure was a lot of fun. Thanks for revealing your secrets to us and being honest and replying to every question.
And making Cubby blush.
Yes, that's always my favorite. And thank you for keeping the cussing to the minimum. You are phenomenal. I've loved getting to know you. I always knew you had a big heart, but now everyone else will know it as well. So we'll see you all next week. Remember, in order to get featured today, you just have to put your post in post promotion, and we will do our best to find the best in our favorites.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Bye.